Nowadays, few people
But before we go back to
when an
Now, I know
unsuspecting
Harris,
farmer
of course,
found a piece of
officially conceded just a few hours ago, but I think the true insight into her character was that despite being the fighter and the person who was there for joy, on election night she left the tens of thousands of people who had desperately hoped that they were going to watch some history, who had broken hearts, but she just left them by the side of the road.
She didn't even have the stones
I'll
to
take
go
a
out
look.
there and face the people who supposedly love her and say, we're going to wait until tomorrow.
Understood.
There's still more counting to be done. And out of respect for the voters in those states, I'm going to hold off on my message. But I love you. I thank you for your tireless work on my behalf. And to
Fair
be
enough.
continued.
Let's do this.
It would not have taken anything more than that. But this woman, this I'm speaking, empowered woman, sent a male staffer out there who nobody even knew to tell them she wasn't coming. She was cowering in the back, just like Kamala's been doing. She's been cowering and she's been cackling. And what she hasn't been doing is actually standing up and fighting for America's working class. And last night they had the final say on her, saying, we're done. We don't believe in you anymore. Black, white, Hispanic. It was the working class that put Trump over the top because he does speak to them and he speaks for them.
Not now.
And Kamala Harris eventually spoke today and hopefully now will be leaving the national stage very soon.
Look, she's obviously
Got it.
going to do better than the force of Joe Biden, but she, of course, was hugely unpopular as vice president. They were joking about her when it came to her mystical garbage word salads. Let's be honest, there's a thing
Yes?
get on.
Yeah, I do. I think that's true because of the economic situation in the United States.
Now
which
would you look at that?
She had a hefty hand in creating in the first place. They created this inflation. It did not have to happen. They took office and they started spending like drunken sailors.
all right,
and it was
why not?
to solve
Sounds
the
like a plan.
pandemic. They just used that as an excuse. We'd already dumped trillions back into the economy to help people suffering from the pandemic. They continued keeping that spigot on, and then they shoved this multi-trillion-dollar bill down our throats called the Inflation Reduction Act, which Biden would later admit was an obvious misnomer. It had nothing to do with solving inflation. It was all his green energy agenda items, which are very expensive and don't work. And when people were saying, we need relief on this inflation, we make 30 grand a year and prices are up 18%. We can't pay our rents, we can't pay our mortgages, we can't pay our heating bills. What we were told was, you're wrong. It's not happening. First it was, it's Russia's fault because of the Ukraine war. Then it was, it's not happening. Then it was, okay, it's happening, but you should be grateful for it because in some way it's good for you. Or just suck it up. You're really just bitching about not being able to buy your latest Peloton. And that's why those guys in hard hats, like the ones behind me at that speech, wound up so disaffected and angry. Like, I know what's in my bank account. I know I can't afford $9 milk. I am not making it up. And so she started off trouble to begin with because of those circumstances.
They will fall.
And the same is true on immigration. They created all by design.
All right,
executive
here
order,
goes
they
nothing.
undid all the protections Trump had in place. They wanted to open the border, and they got exactly the chaos they desired. They
Interesting.
let 10 to 20 million illegals in
Intriguing.
who went to community after community and
Just give them the word.
ruined the American experience for so many citizens.
Get ready.
Killed and raped and molested children. This is not hyperbole. This actually has happened. Over the past 4 years,
Let me
when
see.
we asked, why? Why did you do that? Finally, you pushed some
Well,
lame
keep you
immigration
shielded.
bill 3.5 years into your administration. Why didn't you do anything before?
That's the way.
She just kept saying, well, I am
Fine.
going to talk to you now about what needs to be done, but it hasn't been done, but it needs to be done, and it's going to be
really
done.
necessary.
And literally was her answer. So I think all of that set her up to fail because the policies were so disgusting and destructive that even an Obama-led politician would have had a serious uphill climb. But she's absolutely talentless. as a politician, and that was on full display.
Not now!
108 days.
Yeah,
We should get
I
moving.
mentioned this earlier in the show. You know, in the same way that people, give up sugar or alcohol, tea, cigarettes, whatever, I reckon that an awful lot of Americans they've given up on the type of media.
Here we go.
Lazily reporting
Yes.
the narrative media, dominant media, because they have looked at everything they could during this campaign. Everything about Donald Trump. The reality was they were nowhere near where people were had ever seen Trump. Everything must be, covered like a civilian leader.
What's next?
But am I right in feeling that for a lot of people,
Danger up ahead!
they're just done. They're done with the media.
You'll
and
regret
they're
this.
interacting with television from people like you and places like YouTube.
That's exactly right. That's one of the most gratifying parts of today is that the leftist media is realizing they don't control the
Understood.
conversation anymore.
Will do.
All right, here goes nothing.
The American populace did not buy that he was Hitler or a fascist or a white supremacist or any of the nonsense. 10 years ago, I think the media could have pushed this narrative much more effectively. There was not as much competition. They were dominant. They had a monopoly over the sharing of news.
This way, right?
And now it's a whole new world. And that is why you're seeing some of the reaction from people like Jen Psaki over on NBC.
Blasted
who
armor.
The Obama of the Biden White House saying what we really need to do is crack down on these alternate forms of information.
Let's see.
Who need to be regulated just the same way we are. You know, those of us who have these very high standards where we push Russian collusion hoaxes. They need to rise up to our standards if they're going to be this important contributor to the national conversation. Well,
More
you know
fighting.
what, Jen?
Does this never
You don't
end?
control that.
Fair enough. Let's
You
do
didn't
this.
win anybody,
All right.
that could govern us.
You read
And
my
by
mind.
the way, even if you did, you couldn't because there's this pesky thing called the First Amendment.
I'll keep you
What you're
shielded.
feeling is panic at the loss of power and control, and you should be feeling that because you've had it for far too long and you did not wield it responsibly. So I think you're absolutely right.
Whatever's
The future of media
necessary.
for a long time has been individual relationships between consumers and I think individual news figures or podcast hosts, whomever you find trustworthy. And most people
Understood.
have a diet of a couple or a few. And it is not these corporate controlled
all right,
entities
why not?
that push their agendas on you from above.
Got it.
And they've never been so weak and non-credible as they are today. And that's yet another victory of the Trump win.
Let's look into the future. What is the number one thing that you are most excited about the early days of a Trump term?
Close the border. Close the border. As concerned as I am for our girls' sports, and it's right up there, almost my top issue, but the border's number one. People are dying. I mean, these are bad guys who are crossing that border, from terrorists to criminals to rapists, and they cannot be allowed to keep coming in here like it's a sieve, because once they get in here, we never get rid of them.
Fine.
And that's my number two most excited. That's the number two thing I'm most
I'll take a
excited
look.
about, which is the deportations. Not of the guy
Danger
who
up ahead.
10 years ago and married a woman and they're living peacefully. That guy's not going to get deported. It's of the bad guys who have come here criminally,
Let's
who get
see.
caught, and then they're not deported, and they're not even handed over to ICE. Because we have these sanctuary cities that won't cooperate, all of which Trump is going to crack down on. He's promised that he will. Those people need to be sent
So,
back
what's the plan?
home or out of the country. We need to get full
got it.
Aussie on them. You guys understand how not to deal with these people, and we need to take a lesson. And I think President Trump is committed to it, and I can't wait to send them back to Venezuela. So if they want to commit more crime, they can do it in their country of origin and not in our towns and cities and at the expense of our kids. It's a disgrace that Biden and Harris let this go on as long as they did. My only
Understood.
concern and hope
This
is
way,
that
right?
we changed power in time to undo it.
Megan, thank you for
Sure.
taking us on
Will
this
do.
journey as we think at times we're walking on
Sure.
eggshells, but the reality was the American people were heading only in one direction, and it's the direction that thankfully you and I have been talking about for a very long time. We love you, darling. I look forward to joining you again next week back in the Man Cave.
Oh, thank you, Paula. It's a glorious
got it.
day. Enjoy Washington, D.C., and enjoy what feels like the dawn of a new day and freedom. I mean, ironically, that was her motto, but it's what Trump is going to instill in
Understood.
the United States of America. God bless.
Not
God
now!
bless the USA.
Mary Kelly, you can find a show on Sirius
Yes.
XM or go and find it on YouTube.
Get ready. That way?
Yes?
Sounds like a plan.
But first, Donald Trump, the 47th president of the United States, much to the disgust of many journalists,
Yes.
Got it.
everything in their power to convince Americans not to vote for him. And many
That's
of
the
those
way?
arguments were simply lies. Like the lie
Sure.
Got it.
the election.
Here we go.
For a friend of his, to be shot by a fire.
Will do.
4 days out from Election Day, and former President Donald Trump is escalating his violent rhetoric, suggesting one of his most prominent critics,
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Congresswoman Liz Cheney, should be fired upon.
And that's shot around the world.
Donald Trump has been accused of using violent rhetoric, suggesting guns should be trained on the face of Republican
Not now!
Liz Cheney. The presidential candidate
Mm.
is
Mm.
now being investigated for
That way?
death threat laws just days out of the election.
It even fooled our media.
Donald Trump's comments about a prominent Republican critic have caused some outrage. Just tell us about those comments.
This way,
Understood.
right?
Joe, this has really overshadowed Donald Trump's Rust Belt push. He made comments with right-wing TV host Tucker Carlson about Liz Cheney, a former Republican congresswoman, but an outspoken critic of Donald Trump, and certainly there's no love lost between the two, but Donald Trump certainly took that acrimony a step further with, in that interview,
Blasted
Tucker
armor.
Carlson describing
Sure.
her as a very dumb person, a war hawk, and even
You got
raising
it.
the hypothetical, I guess, of her facing a firing squad.
So did Donald Trump call for a political adversary to face a firing squad? Well, according to Snopes, he did not. Despite violent rhetoric, Trump did not threaten.
Sounds like a plan.
Cheney shot.
Got it.
In context, his words did not amount to an explicit threat against Cheney. Now let's listen to what Trump actually said.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her where the right is 9-barrel shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops into the mouth of the enemy.
Understood.
As Snopes
You read my mind.
no threat to stand up for a firing squad. It was just a complete lie. The people who advocate for the
Will do.
Damn it! I need healing!
Got it. Understood.
like to be in a war zone where guns are. It is so obviously false that even the ABC
So, what's the plan?
Australia had to issue its 53rd Newspaper Impression of the year. They write several news stories across News Radio and Triple J on the 2nd of November reported that U.S. President
More fighting. Does this never end?
suggested that former Congresswoman Liz Cheney could be, quote, put before a firing squad or have guns trained on her face and be shot. It added the full context of Trump's remarks, which would have made it clear he was criticizing Cheney's alleged willingness to send Americans
You
to
got
war
it.
zones rather than
all right, why not?
It is worth pointing out the fake news about calling for a firing squad was published by the BBC or the social media in that clip that we just played for you earlier. And the correction from the ABC was only published after Trump won. The video we played
All right,
was not
here goes nothing.
the media ran this lie everywhere in the lead up to the election, and journalists are wondering why people have started ignoring their criticisms of Trump.
Sure.
Well, joining me on the show this week is the Australian's
Sure.
Darren Davidson and the Daily Telegraph's Tim Blair. Tim, let's start with you.
That way?
A rather extraordinary, can we call it journalistic sleight of hand to truncate these quotes and turn them into
Fair
something
enough. Let's do this.
you know, I know, everybody knows that's not what he was talking about. The problem I have is how it's proliferated through the media so easily. Everyone fell for this. in the lead up to an election when, by the way, the same people talking about misinformation every spare second that they could get an opportunity. And that
I need help over here.
seem like he's calling for the death of one of his adversaries.
They killed one of our heroes.
Absolutely a form of misinformation, and it reflects as well this incredibly disingenuous habits of the modern press, especially in regards to Donald Trump. Just pretending
All right.
or any kind of shade from the law. I mean, it probably said inflation is sky high. Presumably
Just give the
That's the way.
Trump literally says that inflation is reaching the limit of the Earth's outer atmosphere. You know, it's been bubbling up for a time. It's kind of absurd.
All right. Why not?
I remember maybe 12 years ago we had a fact-checking organisation launched in Australia that one of its first efforts was to disprove a claim by a National Party MP that there were gold plated
You got it.
They actually, I'm serious, you can look this up. They actually
Blasted armor.
various hardware store or suppliers, kitchen suppliers. Couldn't find one that was gold plated. You know, they busted that thing. And this has been rippling through. I'm not sure if it reflects more a diminution of an erasing of the ability to detect it's just being done.
I guess there is a degree of stupidity there, and Darren, it's not the first time.
Whatever's
we've seen-
necessary.
You know, Tim, you're 100% right about these literal takes. It wasn't that long ago that they were saying Donald Trump was advocating for a bloodbath, but when you listen to the clip, talking about there being an economic bloodbath in manufacturing, and I
Get
think it
ready.
was motor vehicles specifically, motor vehicle manufacturing.
Sounds
This
like a
way,
plan.
right?
With these, yes, they're inflammatory euphemisms and everything, but he's not
Sure.
advocating
Blasted
That way?
armor.
in the way that they're trying to purport him to have done. But
Sure.
Darren, on this case, on this specific case, it's a few days out from the election, and you've got every major media outlet
Intriguing.
publishing a
They will fall.
candidates.
Huh. Interesting.
A political adversary to be shot by firing squad. Kamala Harris actually came out saying this should disqualify him from the race. It's pretty bad.
It's interesting you've actually highlighted this clip, and it's one example of many because it throughout the campaign and throughout the election cycle, where the media at large on the left, Harris and Democrats,
Whatever's necessary.
that's played a big role.
Yes?
In the election. Kind of created
Yes. Not now!
concerns.
Understood.
Economy or crime, and you know, probably the most famous example would be these people that Biden.
I'll keep you shielded.
7 years ago, I think back in June, when you saw Biden, the video footage that you played was wandering aimlessly around, and we were told that he was fine and there was no problem whatsoever. Of course, that was the case. It was suspected. But yeah, it's that example is highlighted.
All right. Why not?
They've just become completely disconnected. What's really going on in the minds of voters? You saw that in the election results.
Yeah,
Got it.
it's
You got
the
it.
ultimate boy who cried wolf, isn't it? And I mean, I believe they called those clips cheap fakes. They couldn't say that they were fake, but they said they were deceptively cut. I don't know what was deceptive about him wandering around. It just is what it is.
A golem. Don't let down your guard.
Here we go.
Danger up ahead.
That way?
Please. Yes. Help. Please. Help. Please. That's the way. This way, right?
Or maybe because he's realized that
You got it. Sure.
about political issues.
They killed one of our heroes.
Very strong minority.
Don't die on us now.
I need help over here. Don't die on me, will you?